सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। पठामि संस्कृतं नित्यं वदामि संस्कृतं सदा ध्यायामि संस्कृतं सम्यक् वन्दे संस्कृतमातरम्। हरि ओम। So as in every session we are starting with some shloka. In the first session we saw one shloka on Bhagavan Shri Ganesha. In the second session, last session, we saw shloka on Saraswati. So Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Shri Saraswati Namaha. Now Gurubhyo Namaha. Now we will see one shloka on Guru, and we will take the same shloka which we are chanting every day before the session, every session. We will take the same shloka, understand the meaning, and then we will move forward. Is that fine? So I will chant, please repeat after me. समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। Together. समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्. Now let us see the meaning. So words are already separated. Unlike the last two verses that we saw, here the words are already separated. Samasta jana kalyane niratam karunamayam namami chinmayam devam sadgurum brahmavidvaram. This is the padacheda. There is no further breaking required. Now let us see one by one the meaning. Samasta jana kalyane. Now as I was mentioning in the previous session also, in Sanskrit when we are understanding the compound word samastapada, while translating it to English, we have to start from end. Kalyane, in the welfare. Kalyana. Kalyana word in Tamil etc. means marriage. In Sanskrit it doesn't mean marriage. Kalyana means welfare, well-being. In the welfare, jana, people. Samasta, all. So in the welfare of all the people, of all beings. Samasta jana kalyane, in the welfare of all beings, all people. Niratam, niratam, to the one who is ever engaged. Nishchayena ratam, nishchayena ratihi yasya, one who is ever engaged to that person. Nirataha niratam, to that person. Who is that? That we will see. In the end, everything will be connected together. But first phrase is samasta jana kalyane niratam, to the one who is ever engaged in the welfare of all the people. Next word, karunamayam, to the one who is full of compassion. This to the one why we are adding, because it is in dvitiya vibhakti. Niratam karunamayam aham namami, like that it's going to be. So all the other words are in dvitiya vibhakti and therefore we are adding to the one. Karunamayam, mayat pratyaya in Sanskrit, the pratyaya means suffix. Suffix is that which comes afterwards. Prefix is that which comes before. So pratyayas are in both ways, but pratyaya generally come afterwards. Okay, suffixes. So to that karuna shabda, karuna, compassion, we have heard this word karuna. Mayat pratyaya is added to this, and it has got two meanings. One meaning is full of, and another meaning is modification of. Those who study Vedanta, we have concept of Panchakosha. In Panchakosha concept, I am sure you must have seen this Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha. In that, all that Maya which is there, it is all in the meaning of modification of. Annamaya means modification of food. Pranamaya means modification of vital air. Manomaya means modification of mind. Like that. But here, that Mayat Pratyaya is in the meaning of full of. Karunamaya, one who is full of compassion, filled with compassion. To him, to the one who is full of compassion. Karunamayam. Chinmayam. Now the literal meaning of the word Chinmaya is what? Same like Karunamaya, that Maya Pratyaya is same. That suffix is same. But instead of Karuna, now the main word is Chit. Chit means consciousness. Now that Chit, when it is to be joined with Maya, that Ta becomes Na because of some Sandhi rule which we will see later. So Chinmayam is actually Chitmayam. Chit means consciousness. So Chitmaya means full of consciousness. Chinmayam means to the one who is full of consciousness, who is full of compassion. Karunamayam, one who is full of consciousness. Chinmayam. Okay. So you see, Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Chinmayam. Now, next word, Devam. Devam, to the Lord. Deva word comes from root Div. Div means to shine. One who is effulgent, one who shines. Lord is called as Deva. Devam, again Dvitiya Vibhakti, to the Lord. So now, what is happening here? Chinmayam Devam, when you put together, we are referring to Swami Chinmayananda. Okay. So Chinmayam is not just we are taking it as the one who is full of consciousness, not taking the meaning of the name, but we are taking the name to indicate the person. So Chinmaya Deva is Swami Chinmayananda. Right? One who established this Chinmaya Mission organization. Right? So Chinmayam Devam. Sadgurum. Why are you prostrating to him? Because he is the Satguru. This Sadguru is a very interesting word. In English, sometimes they write, no, sad guru it becomes. Sadguru, sad guru. It is not sad guru, it is Sadguru. What do you mean by guru? See, guru word itself has so many meanings, and generally we take the word guru to mean the one who teaches, the one who removes the darkness, literally. Gu is andhakara, darkness. Ru means remover. Gukarascha andhakarascha. Rukarastan nirodhakrita. Right? And because he removes the darkness of ignorance from our mind, the person, the teacher is called as Guru. See, remember I had told in the first session itself, in Sanskrit, no word, no name is given to anything just like that. There is a significance, there is a meaning behind it. So Guru is who? The one who removes the darkness of ignorance. Now in that also, I may be ignorant about many things. I don't know how to use phone. I don't understand credit and debit. I don't know what is gravitational force. Now all that is also ignorance. So the teachers, school, college, university, etc., who remove the ignorance of individual fields are also called as Guru. Can be called as Guru. But Satguru is a specific term for a specific person. Who is that Sadguru? One who removes the ignorance about the self. The one who removes the essential ignorance. The main ignorance because of which all other kinds of ignorance have come to us. So Sadguru always refers to a spiritual guru. One who removes the ignorance of our own nature. One who gives us that knowledge of the self. That is called as Sadguru. Therefore, here in simple terms it is written as noble teacher, because the word Sat has another meaning of noble also, nobility. Sat Sangha, Sat Vichara, isn't it? In that Sat word is used for noble, but I am just explaining to you the significance behind that also. Sadguru, we always refer to a spiritual guru. So to that noble teacher, to that spiritual teacher, Brahmavid Varam. Brahmavid Varam. What is this? See, Brahma. Brahma is Brahma, supreme, Brahman, reality. Vid means to know. So Brahmavid means the knower of Brahman. Brahmavid. And Varam. Varam is used to show greatness. Brahmavid, knower of Brahman. Brahmavid Vara, great knower of Brahman. Means what? Among all the knowers of Brahman also, he is little higher, greater. So these terms to show the comparative degree, superlative degree, you will hear these terms in Sanskrit. Brahmavit, Brahmavit Vara, Brahmavit Variyan, Brahmavit Varishtha, etc. etc. They are all to show the greatness, the degrees of comparison. Okay. There are other terms also in Sanskrit, Taratama, etc., which we will see when the topic comes. Right? Here the word used is Vara. Vara means greater. So Brahmavid Vara means the great knower of Brahman. Great knower means among all the knowers, he is little greater. He is not just Brahmavid, but great among the knowers of Brahman. Brahmavid Varam. Finally, the verb Namami. Namami, I prostrate. As we had seen in the last two sessions also, with the verb, the karta, the subject of the sentence is also indicated. In Sanskrit, when you use the verb, unless there is a special karta which needs to be mentioned, otherwise we understand what karta is, who is the subject. So namami means I prostrate. I prostrate. See, the word nama also is so beautiful. Nama is here, dhatu also nama. They say nama has come from where? That namaste also, we always use this word namaste. Namaste. Whenever we meet each other, we say namaste. And this is a very interesting thing about our culture also. Namaha te namaha, prostrations unto you. Namami is the verb which is coming from the same root, nam. Namaha means what? I prostrate. One thing is to bow down. To bow down to the fact that somebody who is in front of me is higher than me. It's also a mark of humility. But there is another thing also which is associated with na mama iti nama. Na mama means what? I am nothing. This is not mine. Whatever is there is yours. This kind of feeling of reverence is indicated through the word nama, namaha, namami, etc. There is another meaning to word nama. The word nama indicates oneness. One very famous quote is there which says, Namastu aikyam pravadet. It shows oneness. What do you mean by oneness? That essentially you and me are one. And that's why the action that we do while saying this namami is folding of hands, where me, you both come together and we say we both are one. We both are one in what way? That the divinity consciousness in you is the same divinity, same consciousness in me. There is a lot of study that has happened in the Western world also, where they are now understanding the significance of our East, where we greet each other by saying that we all are one. Why? Because in the West we will see that everything is so divided because of the race, because of the color, and there is so much of violence that happens. They say the solution is to understand the oneness. That we may be of different age, different culture, different nation, different gender, whatever, caste, creed, nationality, anything. But essentially we both are one, we all are one. That is also indicated through Namami, Nama. Here, we are only taking the first two meanings. Right? Why? Because it is a mark of reverence, it is to show our gratitude. So, now you see whether you have understood all the words. Samasta jana kalyane niratam karunamayam namami chinmayam devam sadgurum brahmavidvaram. Understood all the words? Now every time we do the anvaya, prose order, to understand, here we don't have to do, it's already in prose order, only the namami we have to take it at the end. Samasta jana kalyane niratam, to the one who is ever engaged in the welfare of all people. Karunamayam, to the one who is full of compassion. Chinmayam Devam, to Swami Chinmayananda, one who is full of consciousness and effulgent. Sadgurum, one who is the noble teacher, the spiritual teacher. Brahmavidvaram, to the great knower of Brahman. Namami, I prostrate. Okay, so let us put all these things together, and in English we say, I prostrate to the noble teacher. See, generally in English, to is not to be written. So, I prostrate the noble teacher, but for us to understand, prostrate the noble teacher, Swami Chinmayananda, who is ever engaged in the welfare of all people, who is the ocean of compassion and great knower of Brahman. Right? To him, we prostrate, and now we continue. Okay? Now, let us begin where we left. So, what did we see in the last session? We were seeing the literature in Sanskrit language. Not literature of Sanskrit language, literature in Sanskrit language. Of Sanskrit language, there will be some more text will be there. In Sanskrit, what all literature is available? We were seeing that first section we saw was Vedical literature, which includes the four Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Sama, Atharva Veda. There also we understood what do we mean by Veda. As Veda, which means knowledge, how it is one. Then that one knowledge which was transferred through series of Guru Shishya, through Guru Shishya Parampara, through Shravana Shruti, then was divided into 4 volumes by Bhagavan Vedavyasa, and then the 4 volumes came about, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda. In each of them, how many sections are there? Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Karma Kanda, Upasana Kanda, Jnana Kanda, or you say Mantra, Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka, Upanishad. In this way, how they are classified also within each Veda, that also we saw. Next we saw 6 Vedangas, the limbs of Veda, means those texts which we must study before entering into Vedas. Shiksha, Kalpa, Nirukta, Vyakarana, Chandasa, Jyotisha. Right? So, all these things also we saw. What do you mean by Shiksha? All that we have seen. I am not going to go into detail again. Then next we saw 4 Upavedas. Right? That also we saw. What are the 4 Vedas? So, for 4 Vedas, for each one there is a Upaveda. Ayurveda, Dhanurveda, Gandharva Veda, Sthapatya Veda or Arthashastra. So, for 4 Vedas, we have 4 Upavedas also. This all is Vedical literature. In this, the Veda portion, as we say, and Upaveda also many people believe, but mainly the Veda section we say is Apaurusheya. Not authored by anybody, it's just compiled. These are revelations which are compiled together, which is the base of our entire civilization. Not just our culture or religion, but entire civilization is based on this Veda. Then we entered into Laukika literature. See, Vaidika means that which pertains to Veda. Vaidika. Veda, Vaidika. Loka, Laukika. Loka means world or people. Laukika means that which pertains to the world or to the people, means which is composed literature. So we saw Puranas. Puranas are the texts which explain the same meaning of Vedas in the form of stories and different ways. We saw 18 Puranas, Mahapuranas, 18 Upapuranas. We also saw how you know, how in short to remember all 18 Puranas. Remember? Madvayam, Vadvayam, Chaiva, Bratrayam, Vachatushayam, Anapalinga, Kuskani, Puranani, Vichakshate. One verse you remember, you will remember the names of all the 18 Mahapuranas. Then we saw Upapuranas also there. Then we went to Itihasas, the history. Iti-ha-asa. Thus it happened. It's not a mythology, it's history. Two texts are considered to be Itihasa in our culture, in our tradition. One is, of course, the Adya Kavya, the first poem, the first grantha written, authored. Vedas are not authored. So the first one which was authored was Ramayana by Valmiki ji. So Valmiki Ramayana, and second one is Mahabharata, composed by Vedavyasa himself. So Itihasas. Dharma Shastras, then we saw the Smritis, etc. are there, which talk about the laws, how to implement this knowledge of Veda into practice, into society, what should be the rule, the constitution, all these things are there. Smritis, many Smritis are there, that also we saw. Tantra Shastra, how to practice spiritual knowledge by using different Agama also, sometimes it is called Nigama Shastra also, sometimes it is called Tantra Shastra. That also we saw. Many Tantra Shastra texts are also there, Pancharatra, etc., Naradiya Pancharatra, so many such texts. Then we saw Darshana Shastras. Darshana is the philosophy, different schools of philosophy, Nastika Darshanas and Astika Darshanas, and all that also we saw. And in each of those darshanas, there will be main sutra literature will be there, bhashya will be there, and vartika will be there, tika will be there, and so many things will be there. Notes will be there, prakaranas will be there, and all these texts are in Sanskrit. We are not yet done. Okay, Vaidika is done, Laukika, A, B, C, D, E, 5 are done. Now we have to see the sixth one, which is again the contemporary part of the literature. We come to Sahitya. Now, interestingly, Sahitya is what is called as literature. In English and Sanskrit, if we have to find the equivalence, Sahitya means literature. Why? Because in most of the civilizations or culture, literature is not very old, few years old. So entire Sahitya is called as literature. For us, before the Sahitya came, there was so much of literature which we just now saw. Veda, Vedanga, Upaveda, Purana, Itihasa, Dharma Shastra, Tantra Shastra, Darshana Shastra, all that was there. Then this Sahitya, etc. also came, which is also called as literature. Okay, so we come to more contemporary literature. Okay, not ancient literature. Ancient literature is what we saw in the last session. Now we come to more contemporary literature. Contemporary still, see, again, for India, even contemporary goes at least 2000, 3000 years back. Okay, so when we say contemporary, doesn't mean in this century or last century. No. They go back, way back. Kalidasa is supposed to be in the first century, common era. So that is 2000 years back. We have gone already. All right. So Sahitya. What is this Sahitya? Again, in Sahitya there are so many sections which we will be seeing. First is called as Kavya, poetry. Now this is very, very interesting about Sanskrit as a language. Most of the times what happens, literature is more in prose. You see your own regional languages, etc., mother tongue, etc., English, most of it is in prose. Big novels, books, etc. The thing about Sanskrit is most of the literature is in poetry. Veda also, majority of the section is in poetry. Prose also is there. In Puranas also, majority is in poetry. Just example, Bhagavad Purana, if we take 18 what we say, 18 sections are there, 12 sections are there, and we see, if you see, in 12 sections, only one section has got some portion which is in prose. Chaturtha Skandha. Rest of the things are in poetry only. Mahabharata entirely poetry, Valmiki Ramayana entirely in poetry. So most of the text, even Dharma Shastra, even the laws, the law books are in the form of poetry only. Some Nibandhas, etc., notes will be there on those law books. Bhashya will be there, which will be in prose. Sometimes even the Bhashya is in the form of poetry. Not all Bhashyas are in prose. There are Bhashya Granthas which are in poetry form. So we understand that Sanskrit has this unique quality. Why? I'll just give the reason now. Later on, as we study more, we will understand the intricacies of that. Sanskrit is a free word order language. Free word order language means what? The words need not appear in exact same order to give one meaning, give the same meaning. Words order, so order of the words can be changed, the meaning remains same. So that's why free word order language. In English, it is not like that. I see you, you see I, or you see me. If I change the words, okay, I see you. Now if I change the order of the words, the meaning is different. I see you means I am seeing you. You see me means you are seeing me. But in Sanskrit, if you say aham tvam pashyami, I see you. Now you change the word order, tvam aham pashyami, meaning still remains same. Why? Because of vibhakti, etc. That concept we will see. But it is free word order language, and because of that, what happens? You put the word anywhere, there is no problem with the meaning, which gives you freedom to compose poetry. That freedom is not there in many of the languages. That's why sometimes when we read also poetry in other languages, we say, what is this? In one line there are 10 words, next line there are 25 words, then in third line there are 15 words. What? There is no sequence, there is nothing constant. But if you see in Sanskrit, every pada 8 letters, every line, entire shloka 32 letters, and there are fixed meters and everything can happen. Why? One major reason is that it is a free word order language. Many other reasons are there which I have mentioned to you earlier also, that there are so many words to give the same meaning. So you pick up the word which is fit, which we are able to fit into that line according to the meter. Understand, that is another reason. Pankaja, Kamala, all mean lotus only. But you see which one is fitting there according to the meter, and you can make the poetry. So in Sanskrit, poetry is a lot of literature is available in the form of poetry. But here when we say Kavya poetry, it's a little different kind of poetry. Means what? There are so many poetic elements are added. The text is written to revel in the language. Careful. The text that we saw so far, the ancient literature, there will be poetic elements in the ancient literature as well. Of course there will be. But the purpose is not to revel in the language. There the language is used as a medium to communicate some point. And that point being teaching, upadesha, etc., etc. Here, the only purpose of the language is to give joy. There will be some teaching, of course, but that is not the essential point of the text. So we see here in Sahitya, that is the main important thing. It is to enjoy the language and the beauty that comes out of language itself. That is what is Sahitya. In Sahitya again we come to the first one, Kavya. Kavya is in the form of poetry, the Sahitya literature which is in the form of poetry. In that again there are further classifications. There are Mahakavyas. Maha means great kavyas. Not big, not lengthy, Maha means great Kavya. So there are rules, etc. are there for Mahakavyas. Those who study Sanskrit literature in universities, etc. Your portion starts from here. Whatever we saw so far, ancient literature, that is not taught in Sanskrit literature. Your portion will start from here if you are doing BA Sanskrit, MA Sanskrit, etc. They will explain Mahakavyas, one of the sargas of one of the Mahakavyas, few Mahakavyas will be taken, etc. And they will give that Itivritta should be well known, the story should be well known, and then there should be sargas more than 8 but less than 30, then it can be called as Mahakavya, etc. etc. There are so many rules. What kind of hero should be there? All that comes. It's very fascinating how in so many years back also in India, everything was so much studied. They have 4 kinds of heroes. Dhira Shanta, Dhirodata, Dhirodhaka, etc. I am not going to go into details, but there are kinds of heroes, which one the author is choosing and how he is portraying that hero, heroine, and how the beginning should be, how the middle should be, how the end should be. There are so many beautiful things which are associated with it, but Mahakavyas are the texts which are great texts. So Mahakavya in Sanskrit are 5. First time we have come to fixed number. Okay, Puranas, Ityasas, there were so many were there, now there are fixed. 5 Mahakavyas are there. Raghuvamsham and Kumara Sambhavam of Kalidasa. These words at least we should know. When will we study Raghuvamsha, Kumara Sambhava, that we don't know. But this story, at least the names we should know. Kalidasa was a great poet, of course. Sanskrit literature cannot even start or end without the mention of the name Kalidasa. Kalidasa's Raghuvamsha is the story of entire Vamsha of Raghu. Vamsha is lineage of Raghu includes Surya Vamsha basically. So all the major kings who came and who came after whom and stories of that, etc. Dilipa and Dasharatha, Srirama, all that comes in Raghuvamsha. Kumara Sambhava is the story of birth. Sambhava means birth. Again Sambhava word, okay. In South Indian language, Sambhava has different meaning. Okay, that's not the meaning here. Sambhava means Samyak Bhavam, birth of Kumara. Kumara is Kartikeya. Shanmukha Kartikeya. How he was born, that entire story of Shiva and Sati being burnt, being born again as Parvati, and then how did she did Tapasya and Bhagavan came and marriage, and all that. Then that, okay, I am not going to go in detail. Kumara Sambhava is the story of birth of Kumara Kartikeya. Kiratarjuniya of Bharavi. Bharavi was another great poet who has written the Mahakavya called Kiratarjuniya. This deals with the story in Mahabharata where Arjuna is doing tapasya to get Pashupatastra when they are in the forest, and Bhagavan Shiva comes as Kirata and they have a fight, etc. because they hit the same boar, because Shiva wants to test before giving his astra to Arjuna, wants to test. So that is the story here. Shishupala Vadha of Magha, again we know from the title it says Shishupala Vadha. Who killed Shishupala? Sri Krishna. Okay, Sri Krishna, how Sri Krishna killed Shishupala, that. And Naishadha Charitra of Sri Harsha, the story of the king Naishadha. So these are the 5 Mahakavyas, great Kavyas in Sanskrit. Then there are Khanda Kavyas. They will be smaller as compared to Mahakavyas. I told you in Mahakavyas there should be at least 8 sargas should be there, up to 30 sargas, and there are so many other ways to find out which is the Mahakavya. There are Khanda Kavyas. Many are there. One I have mentioned, Rutu Samhara of Kalidasa. He in detail he explains about different kinds of Ritu, seasons, etc. The beauty, and it's just wonderful. So wonderful to just read also. Third type of Kavyas are called Sandesha Kavyas. Very interesting. Sandesha Kavyas. Message, Sandesha. So message through poetry. And whenever Sandesha Kavyas we speak of, one name that always comes up is Meghaduta of Kalidasa. A beautiful story where Yavana is sending Megha is cloud, as a messenger to his lover. And such a beautiful, the cloud, as the cloud goes, is explaining the beauty, and see how much our culture was evolved. At that time, in the first century when Kalidasa was there, he has explained from North India, from Himalayas, when that Megha is traveling to south, to the lover of that Yavana, he has explained the beauty from top. Now please think, if aeroplanes are discovered by the famous brothers, I don't want to take the name, the famous brothers, if we say that that's what happened there, they discovered it, much before that, how did Kalidasa know which part of India looks from top? There were, of course, Vimanas, etc. were there. Science is there of Vimana in Mahabharata. In Ramayana, mention of Pushpak Vimana is there. So in Bhagavatam, etc. too, we have mention of Vimana aeroplane which is of 7 florid. And in that Vimana, one Rishi and his wife stays for 100 years in the sky. So all that is there. That's not the point. The point is, Meghaduta is one such Sandesha Kavya where the message is given. There is one very beautiful, I think, camp was taken by Gauri Mahulikarji, who is the academic director here, on Sandesha Kavyas. Different Sandesha Kavyas. Of course, Meghaduta was also covered and some other texts were also covered. So, in Kavya, Mahakavya, Khandakavya, Sandesha Kavya. Then we go to Gadhya. Gadhya means prose. So, this is Padya, poetry, Kavya is. Now, Gadhya. Gadhya means there is like sentences. It's not in a verse form, it's sentence form. So, Gadhya, famous text is called Kadambari, written by Bhushan Bhatta and Bhan Bhatta. Together they have written this. And I tell you, this Kadambari, the complexity of the story is so high in this Kadambari that thereafter, whenever a novel was written, it was called Kadambari. Even today, you will see in Marathi or Hindi, etc., the novels are called as Kadambari. Why? Because one such novel was written which became so famous and it created that kind of level that entire novel section was called by that Kadambari. Okay, so prose, the literature in prose, famous is Kadambari, and there are so many other. Third is Champu, again unique to Sanskrit. Champu is the mixture of poetry and prose. So there will be some verses, then again some portion of, see actually speaking, as I told you, in Puranas also some sections appear which are in prose, but majority is in poetry. In Champu it is not like that, they are actually together. Means there will be almost equal amount of prose and poetry. In Vedas, etc., what happens is, there will be more poetry and somewhere prose will be there little bit. This is not like that. This will be, both will be in a almost similar way. And very famous Champu is the Champu Ramayana of Kavi Bhojaraja. Oh, so beautiful. I just studied one sarga of that Champu Ramayana and I was so overwhelmed by it. Just one section, just for the sake of it. If you just, Google it and find out, you go to Champu Ramayana, go to the Sundar Kanda. So, Champu Ramayana's sections are exactly like Valmiki Ramayana sections, because the story is of Ramayana only, right? So, go to Sundar Kanda, and in the Sundar Kanda, read the first verse and first explanation, first prose section. You will see that the description is about Hanumanji is jumping from that Mahendra mountain, Mahendra Parvata. He is jumping to go to Lanka. That's the story portion. So when he jumped from that Mahendra Parvata, what all things happened in Mahendra? I tell you, some of the sections are unbelievable. And for each explanation, there is a comparison which is done, there is a simile which is used or metaphor which is used, is just amazing. I'll just give you one example, okay? One small portion. So he says that when Hanumanji jumped, you will always see that when there is a force and when there is a speed, you must have seen on the road also, when the car goes, suddenly the dust, etc., some leaves, etc., for some time they follow the car. Because of that movement of the car, they follow and then they fall down. You must have seen. Yeah. Now, he says that Hanumanji's also speed was such that few trees were uprooted from that Mahendra because of the force, and they followed Hanumanji for some time, of course, because Hanumanji is not carrying it. and then they fell down in the ocean because he's jumping over the ocean. And when they fell down in the ocean, you must have seen whenever entire tree falls into the river, it goes upside down. The root remains, or the top, the bottom of the tree remains at the top, and then entire tree is inside the water. So these things were floating. They looked like the nails of the bridge which will be built by Sri Rama in future on the same ocean. You see the Kavi's imagination, you see. And how beautifully, I am just translating into English. English is not even the language which is capable of carrying, such beautiful meaning. But I am just trying to explain to you what all, in what level the poetry or the literature is. Okay, I just gave you one example. He gives such 15-20 similes in that one section, one paragraph. That all the elephants came out and the clouds, they collided on each other and created noise, and what it compared with, and then the snakes etc. came out of their things, because the Mahendra entire mountain was shaken when Hanumanji jumped. So all those things he has compared, and so beautiful. Point is, Champu, which is mixture of both prose and poetry. Okay, this is again Sahitya literature, not over yet. Wait. We are into Laukika. In Laukika, we are into Sahitya, and it is not yet over. Now, what is the next one? Within Sahitya, then the fourth one is called Roopaka, theatrics. Theatrics means what? The literature which is portrayed on stage, demonstrated on stage. Okay, there are 10 types of Roopakas in Sanskrit. One of them is called Nataka, drama. There are 9 other ways of demonstrating. Okay, Prahasana is there, and so many other types are there of the Roopaka. 10 types are there. One of them is called Nataka, which is very famous. Nataka, drama or skit, Nataka. And then so many Natakas are famous. I am just mentioning few. Bhasa was a Kavi who was known for his Natakas. There are 13 dramas which he has authored, written. They are called as Nataka Chakra. The entire 13 dramas put together. Of course, the great poet Kalidasa has 3 famous dramas: Malavika Agnimitra, Vikramorvashiya, and Shakuntala, Abhijnana Shakuntala. Okay, very famous. I am sure in many of our languages also these dramas are translated and being used. Uttar Ramacharitam of Bhavabhuti, another beautiful drama. Uttar Ramacharitam deals with the Uttarakanda. Okay, I will not go there. Then another one, Mudra Rakshasa of Vishakadatta. Why I wanted to bring it here is Mudra Rakshasa is a political drama. So it was not always that we were talking about the ancient history and stories from ancient India. No. It was a complete, what we say as imagined story, but it had a political implication to it. At that time's politics. So Mudra Rakshasa. Mudra means the coins that were used, no? Mudra. Then next one is Mritchakatika. This is also a political drama, but as satire. Satirical, they say, no? So that is what this Mritchakatika is. And very funny. Mritchakatika. Mrit Shakatikam. The dead Shakatika means what we say? Cart. Bullock cart, no? That cart portion, dead cart. Interesting. At some point of time you study this or watch these dramas. Very, very, very beautiful dramas. So that is under Nataka. These are the Natakas. There are other kinds of theatrics also, which is all part of Laukika Sahitya. Then comes Katha. Stories. Now here what we mean is, it's not that the one story is written in the novel or in the book, but there are small stories, and compilation of all those stories becomes a book. Famous is Katha Sarit Sagar. It's an entire ocean of all the stories. So many beautiful stories that we tell nowadays also, our grandparents told, are from this Katha Sarit Sagar. Another very famous story book is Panchatantra of Vishnu Sharma. We always hear stories from Panchatantra. Generally in Panchatantra, interesting thing that they have done is animals, birds, they speak. So the poet here or the writer, whatever he wants to tell, he is telling through animals, because the story becomes interesting. For children also it can be used. So such literature also is there of Katha. Then next one is Alankarashastra or Kavyashastra. This is poetics. Poetics means how Sahitya or literature should be. There are rules and that is discussed. What is the most important part of Sahitya? What creates that joy? Is it the guna? Is it the bhava? Is it the guna bhava together, or is it the rasa? So rasa theory, bhava theory, and all these different kinds of. On that also there are texts and texts written. Just mentioned two here. Very famous Natya Shastra of Bharata Muni. Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra. Second Kavya Alankara of Bhamaha. Then there is Kavya Darsha, and there are so many other texts also which are poetics, for poetics. Sahitya Shastra or Kavya Shastra, Alankarashastra. Okay, not Sahitya, but there are, that also is a part of Sahitya because it is also written in Sanskrit. Okay, in this way we have so many things in Laukika. Now we come to the third last section called Daivika. So Vaidika Sahitya we saw Veda, Upaveda, Vedanga. In Laukika we saw Purana, Itihasa, Dharma Shastra, Tantra Shastra, Darshana Shastra and Sahitya. In Sahitya also we saw 6: Kavya, Gadhya, Champu, Roopaka or Nataka. Then we saw Katha, and last one we saw was Alankarashastra or Kavya Shastra or Sahitya Shastra. Now we come to the third section called Daivika, that which pertains to Devatas. So Vaidika, that which pertains to Vedas. Laukika, that which pertains to Loka or the world or the people. Third is Daivika, that which pertains to the Devatas. So this literature includes some bija mantras, some sounds which are inexplicable, which we cannot explain the meaning, etc. But they are understood by the Devatas, by the deities. So when we chant, it reaches there and they understand it, right? So Aim, Hrim, Klim, Om, Bhum, Bhuhu, etc. You must have heard all this, isn't it? So they are all coming in this Daivika literature also. We can only experience them by meditating on that Devata. Then that Bija mantra can be experienced. It cannot be explained or understood. So this also is another kind of literature which is there in Sanskrit. So we saw there are 3 kinds of literatures: Vaidika Sahitya, Vaidika literature, Laukika literature and Daivika literature. In all these, we are just going to see Laukika. One small bit we are going to focus on, right? So such a vast literature entirely in Sanskrit, and we need to know the language to get into all these texts, right? So just I have introduced to you what kind of literature is there in Sanskrit language. I have not noted all the texts. That will be huge. You can go on Google, etc. There will be some kind of maps and some kind of PPTs, etc. will be there explaining how many things are there. But in short, I have just explained these things. Now we go to the next topic. Now we are entering into the language. Now introduction is over. We have seen the importance of Sanskrit language and all those things, how it is important for understanding the scriptures, to understand culture, and what is the structure of language and the 4 important components of language. That also we have seen. Now we have seen the literature which is there in Sanskrit, and seeing the kind of literature we have, it becomes very important for us to know the language to directly understand the text. Now we come back. Now any language has some building blocks, how the language is formed, right? Can you tell me what exactly forms a language? When we speak of language, what do you think is the basic things that we know? Anything? Language, when we are talking about language, see, the first thing that appears in language is sentence, vakya, statements. when we want to communicate,
Many people are there, you know.
they don't complete the sentence. And then the arthotpatti doesn't happen. Then you don't understand the meaning. Many times on phone call also, etc., or in the messages, etc. Here. Here? What here? No, I am here. I have to complete the sentence. No, I am here. Complete sentence will create the meaning. So, sentence generally we say is the basic requirement to communicate anything. Even in the form of poetry, we convert it into a sentence. That's what is called as Anvaya, no? Making it into a sentence so that the meaning becomes clear. Aham Sadgurum Namami. Meaning is clear. So, in any language, we communicate in the form of sentences. But the sentences are made up of what? Words. So, the next building block, next means actually we are going down and down. Sentence is minimum required. Now, within that, the sentence is made up of words. In Sanskrit, it is called as Shabda. Shabda or Pada. Word. So, sentence Vakya is formed from Shabda or from Pada. Why I am giving two words? Because sometimes Shabda is used, but Shabda is also means the word which is used for sound. So, in Vyakarana, etc., in grammar, etc., the word Pada is used. Pada means word. Now, that word also, each word is made up of letters. Letters. Letter or alphabet or syllable, we say, no? So, in Sanskrit, we have akshara or varna. Right? So, sentence is made up of words. Words are made up of letters. Now, letters are not further what we say made up of anything. Letters are basic building blocks. So, these are building blocks. This is the basic building block. Using the letters, etc., words are formed. Using the words, sentences are formed. Using the sentence, the literature is formed. Are you getting it? So, now you see, now we have to see the akshara part. We have to start from aksharas, understand what are the letters are there, then we will go to words, understand what kinds of words are there, then we will go to sentence and we will understand how the sentence is formed. That's how we are going to go. We are going to start from aksharas, go to words and then sentences. Right? Now, you see the title given to the letter or alphabet syllable is called as akshara, isn't it? Now, that word akshara itself means what? Na ksharati iti akshara. Akshara. Na ksharati. Means what? That which does not perish or that which cannot be broken down further. So, basic building block is called as akshara. Akshara. There is no further breaking down. One word which is used for letters or alphabets. Another word used is varna. Can you see this? Varna. What do you mean by varna? Now, again, the varna word is well known. It comes in many places. Here, in this context of letters, alphabets, etc., it's in both pullinga and napusakalinga, varna or varnam. Means what? Varnayati iti. Varnayati iti varna. Means what? That which explains or indicates. That is called as varna. This varna, vyavastha, etc. also you must have heard. 4 varnas are there: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. That also word used is varna. Varna also means color. Shukla varna, Krishna varna, white color, black color, etc. Here varna means letter or alphabet or syllable. Okay. That which elaborates, explains. Now, one important concept. Lipi, script. Please understand, the language and script are little different. Language is what we speak and what we hear, what we use. Lipi is the script. Let me explain it a little further. Okay. What is this? Om. Okay. What is this? Om. Sure? What is this? Om. This is how Gurudev used to write Om and in his signature. Now the sound is Om, but differently written, isn't it? This is in Devanagari script. This is in Roman script. Don't say English script. English is a language. Roman is the script. This is just for the sake of it I told. Right? Now, what is that? Now, similarly, we'll see. Aham. Aham. Same, aham, but the script is different. So you understand the language is one, but that same language can be written in many ways. Roman script is one, Devanagari is one. In the olden days, there were many more scripts. Sharda script was there, and Pali script was there. We must have heard also some of the inscriptions, etc., some of the stone carvings, etc., are in those scripts. Right? So, script that we use now is Devanagari. Devanagari. Now, why Sanskrit becomes a language easy for the North Indians? Because Hindi language is different, but Devanagari script is same. Marathi language is different, but Devanagari script is same. Language is different, structure of the language is different, rules are different, but the script is same. This is in Marathi, Hindi, Sanskrit, everywhere. So the moment it is written like this, we are able to read it easily. Why? Because we know the script. So there are two things that we are going to study when we will see the akshara: how it is pronounced, how it sounds, and how it looks, how it is written. The moment we understand varnas, the letters, it is easy to read entire Sanskrit. Read means with eyes also and with mouth also, with words also. Why? Because pronunciation remains same. Everywhere the pronunciation remains same, and that is how it is written. So we will understand, as we are understanding the letters, we will understand both the pronunciation part of it and also the script. Is that fine? So akshara or varna, and we are also going to see it in Devanagari script. Okay. Now we will just I'll just tell you what are the kinds of letters we have in Sanskrit, and we will stop here for today. The letters or alphabets or syllables are divided into three categories. One, of course, is called as swara, vowels. Next is called as vyanjana, consonant. And third is called as ayogavaha, symbol. Means what? Vowels, we know in English there are 26 letters. In that 5 are swaras, vowels, 21 are consonants. There is no concept of ayogavaha in English, but in Sanskrit we have. Vowels are how many? We will see. Vyanjana, consonants are how many? We will see. Ayogavaha, symbols. They don't have a particular letter which is in script. There is no particular letter, but there is a symbol, and with that symbol there is a pronunciation. Okay. For all swaras and vyanjanas, there is a pronunciation, there is a sound, and there is a letter associated in the script, which explains that sound. Okay. So vowels generally we say are independent in nature. For pronunciation, the vowels can be pronounced independently. Vyanjanas are those letters which cannot be pronounced individually, independently. They need swaras to be pronounced. That's why in English also you must have seen, generally I don't think there is any word which is made up of just consonants. There has to be some vowel in that, to my knowledge. Okay. Oh, there are few. Oh, W, H, Y, Y, etc. Oh, maybe. Must be then. There must be some things. Right. But generally, for pronunciation, again, in English, the same logic cannot be used because the pronunciation changes. The moment letters are used in the words, their pronunciations are different. Y and Y, they are pronounced same way only. But so we cannot exactly go to that. But here in Sanskrit, Vyanjanas are generally not used independently. Cannot be pronounced, can be used independently, but cannot be pronounced independently without taking help of swaras. So we'll understand swaras, we'll understand Vyanjanas, and what are those symbols, that also we will understand in the next session. We will start with this entire topic. Is that okay? Sufficient for today. All right. Chalo. Let us conclude. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Harihi.